Okay, so you're wanting to buy a Tenere 700, you're looking around, there's thousands of videos. Thank you for landing on this one. Stick around because there will be some ride action coming up on the end of this video. At the end of this video, I'll also go over the mods. But first off, who is this bike for? This bike, you got to understand if you're, all right, we'll start off with the easy one. You more experienced riders, right? You say you're coming from a dual sport, dirt bike, whatever, and you're wondering if the Tenere is really good enough. It definitely is. This right here with the fuel tank being up top, to me, I like it better. Some people say, oh, it's top heavy. But on tight single track like this, it actually helps you drop into the turns a little bit quicker. Whereas that low center of gravity, like I can compare it to my 1290, that low center of gravity, it does not want to turn in as quick as something with weight on top. Your suspension and your tires is really the only mods that you'd have to do unless you're 6'4" or whatever. I'm 6 foot tall. It's a really good feeling standing position. Not quite as good as KTM, but it really is good. So I rode this for 1,000 miles on the factory suspension, and after that I had it completely rebuilt. I had J&M Racing in Shenandoah, the Woodlands, whatever. I had him build my suspension like he built my suspension for the WR450. And let me tell you, this does feel a lot like the WR450 out here in the trails, except for it's heavy. If you're an experienced rider, you can get this bike and do whatever you want on it. Y'all can figure out your own oil, your own tires, whatever. So you're just getting into adventure riding, right? If you are looking at this bike and you are getting new to adventure riding, what you're getting is the basic platform. You'll see a lot of people complaining about this, complaining about that. But what Yamaha did was wrap this up in an affordable package as compared to the rest of your $15,000, $20,000 bike. That's what you're getting, is a budget build components around a great, what did I say? Platform. This platform, you can build it up to do what's coming at the end of the video. If you just want to ride BDRs on it, it is definitely great for that. Oh my gosh, the suspension though, unless you're 160 pounds to maybe 170 pounds, you definitely need to get it resprung. The factory suspension is really harsh, so whenever you hit a bump, it's like hitting a squared off. It's like hitting a square edge. So after I got the suspension redone, now whenever I hit a bump, it's soft, it's more rounded, it's plush, it's not harsh. That's the difference between the factory suspension and a factory rebuilt suspension. You don't need to go spend $3,000 on new suspension. So all these forums to where you see people that are constantly buying Olin suspension, Race Tech, all these dropping, you don't need it. This performs very well. Yeah, this thing with the factory suspension, I was bottoming out all the time and I had the clickers all the way adjusted, just to let you know how soft the suspension is. And if you weigh over $175, if you go and throw luggage on it, you're going to be in for a world of hurt, because what you might not understand, again, forgive me if I'm insulting your intelligence here, but I'm really talking to the new guys that's new into the ADV world. Suspension, you'll hear a lot of people complaining about some wobble, head shake, or whatever. A lot of that is due to the rider. I've played around with it to where I just relax my arms and just move one, and it'll just slowly start getting bad. I raise my elbows up and it'll quit. So a lot of it is due to rider input, but it doesn't happen near as much now that I have, even if I try, it doesn't happen near as much now that the suspension is done. So suspension setup is vital on this bike. This bike, naturally, it's got a great engine performing from the factory. I don't like the way it sounds. That's just my personal preference. I threw on this Leo Vinci can probably within the first week of having it. It sounded great. I took the insert out, the baffle, and it sounded even better. So if you want to spend the money on an Acro, they probably sound a lot better with the baffles in, but it's just got a fluttery sound. It sounded horrible whenever I first got this. I was really disappointed. Then I pulled the baffle out and it sounds just great. Free flowing, no flutters. The seat, to me, factory seat, but I came from a Multistrada, Enduro Pro, and an Africa Twin, and also dirt bikes. Or I don't sit down a whole lot on the trails, but whenever I was riding the Utah BDR, I sat down, I rode over 500 miles in one day. To me, the seat is fine. But again, I'm a heavier guy, and the seat is, I don't know, it's squishy. But this one and my KTM 1290 Super Adventure R, I haven't changed the seat. I don't feel a need to change the seat. I can ride all day on that thing and be fine. You're gonna have to get you some practice because these bikes aren't what you're used to if you're coming off of a street bike or a cruiser. They do have more ground clearance. They feel different whenever you go to turn. They turn tighter, some of them do. Yeah, don't get this bike and expect to get good fuel economy, especially if you're over 200 pounds. You know, there really is a lot to cover, and I don't want this video to be any longer. You can comment, ask me questions down below, and I'll answer them as best as I can. And if you want me to make another video, I will, you know, specifically geared more towards beginners or more towards you more experienced guys. But I can tell you, I do ride this more than I ride my 1290, and I absolutely love my 1290. But now the 1290 is going to be for my long haul trips, but I don't do a lot of long haul trips. So the 1290 is kind of in jeopardy. The more I think about it, it's like, I love that bike. I mean, it's paid for, so I love it even more. But I mean, it's not costing me anything other than a monthly insurance bill to sit there. Anyways, that's my problems. All right, well, I know I probably missed something, but if you're new and you want this bike, like I said, I don't recommend bikes, but it is a great bike to have. It makes noises, just like that's another thing. These adventure bikes for you new guys, they do make different noises. They really do. Like, they just do. Oh my goodness. Okay, I forgot to show you guys this. You see that? So that's where I had to put my mic. I still have the wired mic because in this helmet my face is too fat. There's nowhere. There's nowhere to mount the transmitter in here. Yeah, it clips on and it stays on right there. Haven't had any issues with it yet. If it can last through trail riding, then it can definitely last through a normal ride.